Maya Collins wiped down the same table for the third time, her hands shaking as she watched the clock on the wall. 22 hours and 15 minutes until her wedding. 22 hours until her life would be over. The Starlight Diner buzzed with its usual evening crowd. Miners heading back to the asteroid belt grabbed quick meals between shifts. Tourists snapped photos of Earth through the massive viewing windows. Business people made deals over coffee and pie. None of them knew that the young waitress serving their food was about to become a prisoner. Maya had worked at the diner for 4 years, ever since she turned 18. Luna Station was her whole world. She had never been to Earth, never seen a real ocean or breathed natural air. But she was happy here. Or at least she had been until 3 months ago, when her stepfather Vincent Kane made his announcement. "You're marrying Derek Moss," Vincent had said, not asked. "The wedding is set for next month." Derek Moss owned half the mining operations in the asteroid belt. He was 45 years old, cruel, and had already buried 2 wives under mysterious circumstances. Maya had met him twice. Both times he had looked at her like she was a piece of meat he was planning to buy. Maya had tried everything to escape. She went to the station's legal office, but Vincent was her legal guardian until she turned 25 under Luna Colony law. She tried to get help from the police, but Derek had friends everywhere. She even tried to run away, but Vincent caught her at the transport dock and locked her in her room for a week. Now she was out of time and out of options. The diner's front door chimed, and Maya looked up to see Vincent walking in with Derek right behind him. Her stomach dropped. They were not supposed to come until closing time. Vincent was a big man with mean eyes and hands that left bruises. Derek was smaller, but somehow more frightening. He wore expensive clothes and smiled too much, especially when he was planning something unpleasant. "There she is," Derek said loudly, pointing at Maya. "My beautiful bride-to-be." Every customer in the diner turned to look. Maya felt her face burn with shame. She wanted to disappear, to sink through the floor and never come back up. "Come here, girl," Vincent called. "Derek wants to discuss tomorrow's ceremony." Maya's feet felt like they were made of lead, but she walked over to their table. Derek grabbed her wrist and pulled her down into the seat next to him. His grip was tight enough to hurt. "I've been thinking about our honeymoon," Derek said, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "I own a nice little mining station out in the belt. Very private, no one around for millions of miles." Maya tried to pull her hand away, but Derek held on tighter. She could feel tears starting to form in her eyes, but she refused to cry in front of all these people. "The girl looks nervous," Vincent laughed. "Don't worry, Derek. She'll learn to be a good wife soon enough." "I'm sure she will," Derek agreed, running his thumb over Maya's knuckles. "I'm very good at teaching lessons." Maya looked around the diner desperately. Most of the customers had gone back to their meals, embarrassed by the scene. A few were still watching, but none of them looked like they were planning to help. Why would they? This was family business, and Maya was just a waitress. Then her eyes fell on a man sitting alone in the corner booth. He was maybe 30 years, old with dark hair and quiet eyes. He wore simple clothes like a regular spacer, but something about him seemed different. He had been watching the whole scene, and unlike everyone else, he looked angry. Maya made a decision that surprised even her. She stood up so fast that Derek had to let go of her wrist. "Actually," she said, her voice much steadier than she felt, "I need to tell you both something." Vincent frowned. "What are you talking about?" Maya took a deep breath. This was either going to save her or make everything much worse. "I can't marry Derek tomorrow because I already have a boyfriend." Derek laughed. "Don't be ridiculous. You work here 6 days a week. When would you have time for a boyfriend?" "He's right there," Maya said, pointing at the man in the corner booth. Before anyone could stop her, she walked over to his table. The man looked up at her with surprise. Up close, Maya could see that his eyes were a warm brown color. He seemed kind, which was more than she could say for any man Vincent had ever brought around. "Please," Maya whispered, hoping only he could hear. "I need your help." The man studied her face for a moment. Maya held her breath. waiting for him to laugh or call her crazy or just walk away. Instead, he stood up. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. Derek had followed Maya over to the booth. "Who are you supposed to be?" "I'm Ryan," the man said simply. "Maya's boyfriend." Maya felt a rush of relief and gratitude. This stranger was willing to help her, even though he had no idea what he was getting into. "Boyfriend?" Derek snarled. "That's impossible. Vincent told me she was pure, never been with a man." "Well, Vincent was wrong," Ryan said. His voice stayed calm, but Maya could see his jaw tighten with anger. Before Derek could respond, Maya did something that shocked everyone in the diner, including herself. She stepped closer to Ryan and kissed him. It was supposed to be just for show, just to make her story believable. But the moment their lips touched, Maya felt something she had never experienced before. Safety, protection, hope. Ryan seemed just as surprised as she was, but he didn't pull away. When the kiss ended, he kept one arm around Maya's shoulders. "I think you gentlemen need to leave," Ryan said quietly. "Maya has made her choice." Vincent's face turned red with rage. "This is nonsense. She's marrying Derek tomorrow and that's final." "No, she's not," Ryan replied. "Under colony law, a woman can refuse marriage if she has chosen another partner. Maya has chosen me." Derek stepped forward, his hands curled into fists. "Do you have any idea who you're messing with, stranger? I could have you disappeared without anyone asking questions." Ryan didn't seem impressed by the threat. "Are you threatening me in front of all these witnesses?" Maya looked around and realized that every person in the diner was watching now. Some had even started recording with their phones. Derek must have realized it too because he stepped back. "This isn't over," Derek promised. "Maya belongs to me. I paid good money for her." "She doesn't belong to anyone," Ryan said firmly. "And she's not for sale." Vincent grabbed Derek's arm. "Come on, we'll sort this out tomorrow." "There's nothing to sort out," Maya said, finding her voice again. "I'm not marrying him. I'm not marrying anyone I don't choose." After Vincent and Derek left, the diner slowly returned to normal. Maya realized she was still standing very close to Ryan, and she stepped back, suddenly embarrassed. "I'm sorry," she said. "I shouldn't have dragged you into this." Ryan smiled for the first time since she had met him. "Don't apologize, are you okay?" Maya nodded, though she wasn't sure if she was okay or not. She had just changed her entire life with one desperate kiss. She had no idea what would happen next, but for the first time in months, she felt like she might have a future worth living. Maya could not sleep that night. She kept thinking about the kiss and the kind stranger who had saved her from Derek Moss. She also worried about what Vincent would do next. He was not the type of man to give up easily. The next morning, Maya went to work early. She needed to keep busy or she would go crazy thinking about everything. The diner was quiet, with only a few customers having breakfast. Ryan was sitting in the same corner booth where she had met him yesterday. He looked tired, like he had not slept much either. When he saw Maya, he waved her over. "Good morning," he said softly. "How are you feeling?" "Scared," Maya admitted. "Vincent is probably planning something terrible, and I still don't know your last name." Ryan was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "My full name is Ryan Blake Harrison." Maya frowned. The name sounded familiar, but she could not remember where she had heard it before. "Harrison? Like Harrison Industries?" "Yes," Ryan said. "Exactly like Harrison Industries." Maya felt the blood drain from her face. Harrison Industries was the biggest company in human space. They owned mining operations, shipping companies, and even entire planets. Everyone in the galaxy knew about Harrison Industries. "You're not serious," Maya whispered. Ryan pulled out his identification card and showed it to her. There it was in black letters. Ryan Blake Harrison, Chief Executive Officer, Harrison Industries. Maya sat down hard in the booth across from him. "You're one of the richest people in the galaxy." "I guess I am," Ryan said. "But that's not why I helped you yesterday." Then why did you help me? Maya asked. She was still trying to process what she had just learned. Because it was the right thing to do, Ryan said simply. And because you reminded me of someone I used to know. Maya stared at him. What are you doing here? On Luna Station, I mean. Shouldn't you be on Earth making billion credit deals? Ryan smiled sadly. I was supposed to be in a board meeting yesterday. Instead, I told my assistant I needed a break and caught the first transport to Luna Station. I've been traveling for 3 weeks just trying to remember what normal people are like. Normal people? People who don't want something from me, Ryan explained. Do you know how hard it is to have a real conversation when everyone you meet is either trying to sell you something or marry their daughter to you? Maya almost laughed. Actually, I think I do know something about people trying to marry you off. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Maya remembered something important. Vincent and Derek are going to find out who you are, she said. When they do, they'll probably try to hurt you. Let them try, Ryan said. I have very good security. You don't understand, Maya insisted. Derek owns half the mining operations in the asteroid belt. He has connections everywhere. And Vincent doesn't care about rules or laws. He'll do anything to get what he wants. Ryan leaned forward. What does Vincent want? I mean, why is he so determined to make you marry Derek? Maya sighed. Money. Derek is paying Vincent 2 million credits for me. It's like I'm being sold like a piece of equipment. Ryan's face darkened with anger. That's not legal. Even under colony law, you can't sell a person. It's not technically selling, Maya explained. It's called a marriage contract with financial considerations. Vincent gets the money. Derek gets a wife who can't. Leave him and I get nothing. Ryan was quiet for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was very serious. Maya, I have an idea, but you might think it's crazy. After yesterday, I'm ready to hear any idea, Maya said. What if we got married for real? Ryan asked. Maya nearly choked on her coffee. What? Not a real marriage, Ryan said quickly. A contract marriage, a business arrangement. It would be completely legal, and it would solve both our problems. How would it solve your problems? Maya asked. Ryan looked embarrassed. My board of directors has been pressuring me to get married. They think it would be good for the company's image. They keep introducing me to women who only want my money. If I'm already married, they'll leave me alone. And it would solve my problems because Vincent couldn't force me to marry Derek. Maya said slowly. Exactly. As my wife, you'd be legally protected. Vincent couldn't touch you. Maya thought about it. It sounded too good to be true. What would you want in return? I'd like you to work for me, Ryan said, as my personal assistant. I need someone who understands what life is like for ordinary people. Someone who can help me make better decisions about how my company treats its workers. You want to hire me to tell you when you're being unfair to poor people? Something like that, Ryan admitted. I've been reading reports about working conditions in our mining operations. Some of them are terrible. I want to fix that, but I need help from someone who's actually lived that life. Maya was suspicious. Why should I trust you? You're incredibly rich and powerful. How do I know you won't just use me and throw me away? Ryan reached into his jacket and pulled out a data pad. He typed something quickly and then showed her the screen. This is a standard marriage contract, he said, but I've added some extra terms. You would get full legal protection as my wife. You would have your own bank account with enough money to leave anytime you want. And if anything happens to me, you would inherit enough to be comfortable for the rest of your life. Maya read through the contract. It was everything Ryan had promised and more. He was offering her complete freedom and financial security. There's one more thing, Ryan said. This would have to look real. We'd have to live together and act like a married couple in public. Are you okay with that? Maya thought about Derek Moss and his cruel smile. She thought about Vincent and his heavy hands. Then she looked at Ryan, who was offering her a way out of hell. Yes, she said. I'm okay with that. Ryan smiled with relief. Good. We can have the ceremony this afternoon. I know a judge who can perform it quickly and quietly. What about Vincent and Derek? Maya asked. They're not going to give up easily. Let Me worry about them, Ryan said. I have more resources than they do. Just then, Maya's phone buzzed with a message. It was from Vincent. Wedding is still happening today at 6 p.m. Be ready or there will be consequences. Maya showed the message to Ryan. His expression became very serious. We need to move fast, he said. Can you get off work early today? Maya nodded. I'll talk to my manager. Good. Meet me at the courthouse at 2 p.m. And Maya? Yes? After today, you'll never have to be afraid of Vincent or Derek again. I promise. Maya felt something she had not experienced in months. Hope. She was about to marry a complete stranger, but somehow that felt safer than the life she was leaving behind. She looked at Ryan one more time. He seemed honest and kind, nothing like the men Vincent usually brought around. Maybe this crazy plan would actually work. I'll see you at 2 p.m., Maya said. As she walked away to talk to her manager, Maya realized her hands had stopped shaking for the first time in weeks. Maya and Ryan were married at exactly 2:30 p.m. on Luna Station. The ceremony was quick and simple. Judge Martinez asked them to sign papers and say a few words. Maya wore her best dress, which was not very fancy. Ryan wore a simple suit. They exchanged plain gold rings that Ryan had bought from a jewelry shop that morning. You may kiss the bride, Judge Martinez said. Ryan looked at Maya and smiled gently. Is this okay? Maya nodded. The kiss was soft and brief, nothing like the desperate kiss from yesterday, but it made their marriage official and real. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, the judge said. Mrs. Harrison. Maya had never thought she would have a different name. It felt strange but also exciting. They were walking out of the courthouse when Maya's phone started buzzing with calls from Vincent. She showed Ryan the screen. Ignore him, Ryan said. He can't hurt you anymore. But Maya was worried. You don't know Vincent like I do. He's going to be furious. Ryan was right that Vincent could not legally force Maya to marry Derek anymore, but he was wrong about Vincent not being able to hurt them. The next morning, Maya woke up in Ryan's apartment. It was the biggest place she had ever lived in. Her old room could have fit inside the bathroom. Ryan had been very polite, giving her the master bedroom while he slept on the couch. Maya made coffee and turned on the news while she waited for Ryan to wake up. What she saw made her drop her cup. The news reporter was talking about Ryan. Ryan, Harrison, CEO of Harrison Industries, shocked the business world yesterday by marrying a Luna Station waitress in a secret ceremony. Sources close to the company say the board of directors is extremely upset about this sudden marriage. Maya stared at the screen. How did the news find out so quickly? Ryan walked into the kitchen wearing a bathrobe. Good morning, Mrs. Harrison. How did you? He stopped when he saw the news. Sources say the new Mrs. Harrison worked as a waitress and has no education or business experience, the reporter continued. Some board members are calling for Mr. Harrison to step down as CEO, claiming he is not mentally stable enough to run the company. Ryan grabbed the remote and changed channels. Every news station was talking about their marriage. Most of the reports were not kind to Maya. Luna Station waitress tricks billionaire into marriage, read one headline. Gold digger, Hook's richest man in space, said another. Maya felt sick. Ryan, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to cause problems for your company. This isn't your fault, Ryan said firmly. Someone told the media about our marriage, and I think I know who. Ryan's phone rang. The caller ID said, Board of Directors emergency. Meeting? Mr. Harrison, came a cold voice. We need to speak with you immediately. I'll be there in an hour, Ryan replied. After he hung up, Maya said, They're going to make you divorce me, aren't they? They're going to try, Ryan admitted, but I won't let them. While Ryan was at his emergency board meeting, Maya stayed in the apartment and watched the news. The stories about her kept getting worse. Someone had found photos of her working at the diner and was showing them next to pictures of Ryan at fancy business events. Then Derek Moss appeared on the news. I'm very worried about Maya, Derek told the reporter with fake concern. She's a troubled young woman. Her stepfather Vincent and I have been trying to help her for months. We think this billionaire has taken advantage of her mental problems. Maya nearly threw the remote at the screen. Derek was lying about everything, but he sounded so convincing that people might believe him. Her phone rang. It was her friend Lisa from the diner. "Maya, are you okay?" Lisa asked. "The news is saying terrible things about you." "I'm fine," Maya said. "But Lisa, I need you to know the truth. Derek Moss was trying to force me to marry him. Vincent was selling me like property. Ryan saved me from that." "I believe you," Lisa said. "But Maya, Derek was here at the diner this morning asking questions about you and Ryan. He was offering money for information." "What kind of information?" "Anything that would make Ryan look bad. He wanted to know if Ryan ever seemed drunk or crazy or mean to you." Maya felt cold. Derek was not just angry about losing her, he was planning something bigger. Ryan came home that afternoon looking exhausted and angry. "How did the meeting go?" Maya asked. "Terrible," Ryan said. "Half the board wants me to divorce you immediately. They think our marriage makes the company look bad. The other half thinks I should take a leave of absence until this scandal dies down." "Maybe you should divorce me," Maya said quietly. "I don't want to destroy your life's work." Ryan sat down next to her on the couch. "Maya, I'm not divorcing you. We made an agreement and I keep my promises. Besides, I think what's happening is bigger than just board members being upset." "What do you mean?" Ryan pulled out his tablet and showed her some financial reports. "Someone has been buying up Harrison Industries stock all week. They're trying to get enough shares to vote me out as CEO." "Who would do that?" "I have some ideas," Ryan said. "Derek Moss owns a lot of mining companies. If he could take control of Harrison Industries, he would have a monopoly on space mining." Maya felt scared. "So this is all my fault. If I hadn't kissed you that night, if you hadn't kissed me that night, you would be married to Derek right now," Ryan interrupted. "And I would still be lonely and surrounded by people who only want my money. Maya, meeting you was the best thing that's happened to me in years." Maya looked at him with surprise. "Really?" "Really. And I have an idea for how we can fight back." Ryan explained his plan. Instead of hiding from the media, they would tell their story. Maya would give interviews about what life was really like for workers on Luna Station. She would expose Derek's cruel treatment of miners and Vincent's abuse. "But I've never been on television," Maya said. "What if I say something wrong?" "You won't," Ryan said confidently. "You know the truth, and the truth is powerful." That evening, they did their first interview together. Maya was nervous at first, but when the reporter asked her about Derek, she found her voice. "Derek Moss paid my stepfather 2 million credits to force me into marriage," Maya said clearly. "He owns mining stations where workers are treated like slaves. He's not upset about losing me. He's upset about losing the chance to control Harrison Industries." The interview was broadcast across the galaxy. Within hours, other miners started calling the news stations with their own stories about Derek's companies. But Derek was not finished fighting. That night, there was an explosion at one of Harrison Industries' biggest mining operations. 12 workers were injured. The news blamed Ryan's distracted leadership for poor safety standards. Maya knew Derek was behind the explosion, but they could not prove it. "This is just the beginning," Ryan said as they watched the news coverage. "Derek is going to keep attacking until he gets what he wants." "What does he want?" Maya asked. "Everything," Ryan replied. "My company, my money, and you back under his control." Maya felt a chill of fear. She had thought marriage to Ryan would keep her safe from Derek, but now she realized it had only made Derek more dangerous. The war between them was just beginning. 3 weeks after the mining explosion, Maya was having breakfast when Ryan rushed into the kitchen with his tablet. His face was pale and worried. "Maya, we have a bigger problem than Derek," he said, showing her the screen. The news was reporting, something that made Maya's blood run cold. A massive alien ship had appeared near Earth's moon. It was bigger than any human spaceship ever built. "The ship belongs to something called the Zephyrian Empire," the news reporter said. They are requesting immediate talks with Earth's government and all human colony leaders. Maya looked at Ryan. Who are the Zephyrians? I don't know, Ryan admitted. But my company has mining operations all over human space. If aliens are making contact, it could change everything. 2 hours later, every screen in human space was showing the same broadcast. A tall, thin alien with silver skin and large, dark eyes was speaking to humanity. I am Ambassador Veltar of the Zephyrian Empire, the alien said in perfect English. We have been watching your species for many years. We have seen your wars, your greed, and your cruelty to each other. Maya felt her stomach drop. This did not sound like a friendly visit. Your recent behavior has been especially troubling, Veltar continued. Corporations fighting each other while workers suffer. Leaders putting profit before the safety of their people. Violence used to solve business disputes. Maya realized the alien was talking about the fight between Ryan and Derek. Somehow their personal war had gotten the attention of an entire alien empire. We must decide if humanity is ready to join the greater galactic community, Veltar said, or if you are too dangerous and chaotic to be trusted with advanced technology and expanded territory. The ambassador explained the test. Humanity had 6 months to prove they could work together and solve their problems peacefully. If they failed, the Zephyrians would cut off all human expansion into space. No new colonies, no new mining operations, no new trading routes. The test will focus on your leader's ability to unite different groups and solve conflicts without violence, Veltar said. We will be watching closely. After the broadcast ended, Maya and Ryan sat in shocked silence. They're testing us because of our fight with Derek, Maya said finally. It's not just our fight, Ryan replied. But yes, I think we're part of what they're worried about. Maya felt terrible. I should never have kissed you that night. None of this would have happened. Maya, stop, Ryan said firmly. You kissed me because Derek was trying to buy you like property. That's exactly the kind of thing the aliens are worried about. If we can prove that humans can stand up to bullies like Derek, maybe we can pass their test. Over the next few days, Maya and Ryan learned more about the Zephyrian Empire. They controlled dozens of star systems and had technology far beyond anything humans possessed. If they decided humanity was too dangerous, they could easily enforce their restrictions. But Derek Moss saw the alien ultimatum as an opportunity. He started giving interviews claiming that Ryan's unstable behavior was exactly the kind of leadership that had attracted negative alien attention. Ryan Harrison married a waitress on impulse, Derek told reporters. He's caused industrial accidents through poor management. He's exactly the kind of chaotic leader the Zephyrians are worried about. Derek also began spreading rumors that Ryan was secretly working with radical groups who wanted to fight the aliens instead of cooperating with them. Maya watched these interviews with growing anger. He's lying about everything. I know, Ryan said. But some people are starting to believe him. The situation got worse when several Harrison Industries board members publicly supported Derek's statements. They called for Ryan to step down for the good of humanity. Then Maya discovered something that made her furious. Derek had been secretly meeting with a group of Zephyrian extremists who wanted humanity to fail the test. These aliens believed humans were too violent and should be restricted to their own solar system forever. Maya found evidence of these meetings in Derek's leaked communication files. She showed them to Ryan immediately. He's working with aliens who want us to fail, Maya said. Derek is willing to betray his own species just to get revenge on us. Ryan stared at the evidence. This changes everything. Derek isn't just trying to take over my company anymore. He's working against all of humanity. They took the evidence to the news media, but Derek's supporters claimed the files were fake. The alien extremists denied the meetings ever happened. Without more proof, many people didn't believe Maya and Ryan's accusations. Maya realized they needed to do something dramatic to show humanity's true strength. She had an idea that scared her but might work. Ryan, what if we brought together all the people Derek has hurt? Maya suggested. Miners, workers, even some of your board members who are tired of the fighting. We could show the Zephyrians that humans can unite when we need to. That's a big risk, Ryan said. If it doesn't work, we'll look even more chaotic and divided. But if it does work, we might save humanity's future in space. Ryan looked at Maya with admiration. When did you become so brave? I learned from you, Maya replied. You risked everything to help a scared waitress. Now I want to help save our entire species. They began reaching out to everyone who had been hurt by Derek's business practices. Miners who had worked in dangerous conditions, families who had lost loved ones in accidents at Derek's facilities, even some of Derek's own employees who were tired of his cruelty. The response surprised Maya. Hundreds of people wanted to help. They had been waiting for someone to stand up to Derek, but they had been too afraid or powerless to act alone. Ambassador Feltar announced that the Zephyrians would hold a public evaluation in 1 month. Human leaders would be tested on their ability to bring different groups together and solve conflicts peacefully. Derek immediately declared that he should represent humanity in the test. He had support from powerful people who believed his lies about Ryan being unstable. But Maya had a different plan. She and Ryan would represent humanity together, showing that people from completely different backgrounds could work as partners instead of fighting each other. A waitress and a billionaire working together, Maya told Ryan. That has to mean something to the aliens. 3 days before the evaluation, Derek made his most desperate move yet. Using weapons provided by his Zephyrian allies, he attacked a civilian transport ship carrying families to a new colony. 50 people died, including children. Derek blamed the attack on extremist groups opposed to alien contact. But Maya knew the truth. Derek was willing to murder innocent people to make humanity look violent and chaotic. The attack shocked the human colonies. Some people became more afraid and wanted to hide from the aliens. Others became angry and wanted to fight back with violence. Maya realized this was exactly what Derek and his alien allies wanted. Fear and anger would make humans look like the violent species the extremist Zephyrians claimed they were. We have to show them something different, Maya told Ryan. We have to prove that even when terrible things happen, humans can choose cooperation over revenge. The test was 2 days away. Maya knew that the future of humanity in space depended on what happened next. She just hoped that the scared waitress who had kissed a stranger 4 weeks ago had learned enough about courage to help save her entire species. The day of the Zephyrian test arrived with gray skies over Luna Station. Maya stood in front of the mirror in her hotel room, trying to calm her nerves. In 2 hours, she would be speaking for all of humanity in front of alien judges who would decide the future of human space exploration. Ryan knocked on her door. Maya, are you ready? She opened the door and saw him wearing his best business suit. Behind him stood 12 other people who had agreed to help with their presentation. There was Carlos Martinez, a miner who had lost his leg in one of Derek's unsafe facilities. Lisa Chen, Maya's friend from the diner who now worked as a nurse helping injured workers. Even Margaret Webb, a former Harrison Industries board member who had quit when she learned about Derek's alien allies. We're all ready, Maya said, though her voice shook a little. The test was being held in Luna Station's main auditorium. When Maya walked inside, she saw hundreds of people in the audience. News reporters from across human space had come to watch. At the front of the room, Ambassador Veltar sat with 4 other Zephyrian officials. Derek Moss was already on stage with his own group of supporters. He wore an expensive suit and smiled confidently at the cameras. Maya noticed that Vincent Kane stood behind Derek, looking nervous and ashamed. Citizens of humanity, Ambassador Veltar began. Today we will test your species' ability to solve conflicts and work together. 2 groups will present their vision for human leadership. We will judge which approach shows the most promise for peaceful cooperation. Derek stepped forward first. Honorable Zephyrians, I represent the established order of human civilization. For decades, successful business leaders like myself have maintained peace and prosperity through strong authority and clear rules. Derek's speech was smooth and professional. He talked about the need for experienced leaders to make hard decisions. He claimed that emotional choices, like Ryan's marriage to a waitress, showed the dangerous chaos that happened when unqualified people gained power. The recent violence and instability, Derek continued, has been caused by reckless individuals who put personal feelings above the greater good. Human society needs steady, proven leadership, not romantic fairy tales. Derek's supporters applauded. Maya had to admit he sounded convincing, even though she knew he was lying about almost everything. Then it was Maya and Ryan's turn. Maya walked to the microphone. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was strong when she spoke. Ambassador Veltar, my name is Maya Collins Harrison. 6 weeks ago, I was a waitress being forced into marriage by men who thought they could buy and sell me like property. Today, I stand here as an equal partner with one of the richest people in human space. Maya looked out at the audience. The man who wanted to buy me just told you that human society needs steady leadership. But Derek Moss has killed innocent people to make humanity look violent. He has worked with your own extremists to make us fail this test. That is not steady leadership. That is betrayal of his own species. The auditorium erupted in surprised murmurs. Derek's face turned red with anger. Maya continued, Ryan Harrison could have divorced me when this conflict started. It would have saved his company and his reputation. Instead, he chose to stand by his promise to protect me. That is the kind of leadership humanity needs. Ryan joined Maya at the microphone. Ambassador Veltar, Maya and I come from completely different worlds. She has experienced poverty and powerlessness. I have lived with wealth and privilege. But, together, we have learned that humanity's strength comes from cooperation between different types of people. One by one, their supporters came forward to tell their stories. Carlos Martinez spoke about how Derek's companies had ignored safety, rules to save money. Lisa Chen talked about caring for workers who had been hurt in preventable accidents. Margaret Webb explained how she had resigned from Harrison Industries board when she discovered Derek's alien collaborations. But Derek was not finished fighting. As Maya spoke about the need for unity, alarms suddenly began blaring throughout. Luna Station. Emergency alert, came an announcement over the speakers. Multiple explosions detected in the mining sector. All citizens evacuate immediately. Panic filled the auditorium. People screamed and ran for the exits. Through the chaos, Maya saw Derek speaking urgently into a communication device. He's behind this, Maya told Ryan. Derek is attacking the station to make us look like we can't maintain order. Ambassador Veltar stood calmly despite the chaos around him. The test continues, he announced. How you handle this crisis will be part of our evaluation. Derek immediately took charge, shouting orders and demanding that security forces follow his commands. It looked impressive, like strong leadership during an emergency. But Maya realized something Derek had not expected. All the workers and ordinary citizens they had brought together for their presentation were still in the auditorium. These were people who knew how to handle real emergencies, not just business meetings. Carlos, Maya called to the injured miner. You know the station's evacuation procedures better than anyone. Can you help organize people? Carlos nodded and began directing frightened civilians toward the safest exits. Lisa, Ryan said to the nurse, we need someone to set up medical aid stations. Lisa was already moving, organizing other medical workers. In the audience, Maya looked at Margaret Webb. Can you contact station security and find out what's really happening? Within minutes, Maya and Ryan's group had turned the panicking crowd into an organized rescue operation. They were not giving orders from above like Derek. They were working alongside everyone else. Margaret Webb returned with news from station security. The explosions were set off by remote control, she reported. Security found the devices. They're the same type Derek's companies use for mining operations. Derek heard this and tried to claim the devices had been stolen from his facilities, but Vincent Kane suddenly stepped forward. Stop lying, Derek, Vincent said loudly. I can't do this anymore. Everyone in the auditorium turned to look at Vincent. Maya's stepfather looked old and tired. Derek planned these explosions, Vincent continued. He's been working with aliens who want humanity to fail this test. I helped him because he promised me money, but I can't watch him hurt innocent people anymore. Vincent pulled out a recording device. I have proof of everything. Derek's meetings with the extremist Zephyrians, his orders to attack the transport ship, his plan to blame today's explosions on Ryan's supporters. The evidence was clear and undeniable. Derek had been working against his own species from the beginning. Derek realized he was caught. His face twisted with rage as he pulled out a weapon provided by his alien allies. If I can't rule humanity, Derek snarled, then humanity doesn't deserve to survive. Derek pointed the weapon at Ambassador Veltar. If he killed the Zephyrian ambassador, it would mean war between the species. But Maya was closer to Derek than anyone else. Without thinking about her own safety, she jumped forward and knocked Derek's arm aside just as he fired. The alien weapon's energy blast hit the ceiling instead of the ambassador. Derek fell backward, and station security quickly arrested him. Ambassador Veltar looked at Maya with something that might have been respect. Interesting, the alien said. A human risked her life to protect an alien judge who was deciding her species' fate. Maya helped Ryan to his feet. Around them, the people they had brought together were still working to help evacuate the station and care for the injured. This is humanity's true strength, Maya told the ambassador. Not perfect, leadership or flawless decisions, but ordinary people choosing to help each other even when they're afraid. The Zephyrian Evaluation Committee huddled together, speaking in their own language. Maya could not understand their words, but she hoped they had seen enough to believe in humanity's potential. The test was over. Now they could only wait for the aliens' decision. 6 months later, Maya stood in the same auditorium where the Zephyrian test had taken place. But today was different. Today was a celebration. Ambassador Veltar walked to the podium with what Maya had learned was the Zephyrian equivalent of a smile. Over the past months, Maya had gotten to know the alien diplomat quite well. He was curious about human nature and asked many questions about how different types of people could work together. Citizens of humanity, Veltar began. 6 months ago, we came to evaluate your species. We had seen reports of violence, greed, and division among your people. We were concerned that humans were too chaotic to be trusted as partners in the galactic community. Maya felt Ryan take her hand. They had been through so much together since that desperate night when she had kissed a stranger to escape a forced marriage. Today, I am pleased to announce that humanity has passed our evaluation. Veltar continued. You have proven that your species can overcome differences in wealth, background, and power to work together for the common good. The auditorium erupted in cheers. Maya felt tears of joy running down her face. Your test was not just about leadership, Veltar explained. It was about whether ordinary individuals could choose cooperation over conflict, even when facing personal danger. Maya Collins Harrison exemplified this when she risked her life to protect me, despite knowing that I was judging her entire species. Maya blushed as the audience applauded. She still found it strange to be famous across human space. But the test results are not why we gather today, Veltar said. We are here to celebrate a new partnership between humanity and the Zephyrian Empire. Over the past 6 months, many things had changed. Derek Moss was in prison for treason and murder. His mining companies had been taken over by worker cooperatives that followed strict safety rules. The families of his victims received compensation from his seized assets. Vincent Kane had also changed dramatically. After testifying against Derek, Maya's stepfather had entered therapy to deal with his anger and drinking problems. He wrote Maya long letters apologizing for his treatment of her and asking for a chance to rebuild their relationship. Maya was not ready to forgive him completely, but she was willing to let him try to become a better person. The biggest change was in Maya herself. She was no longer a scared waitress hiding from bullies. Working with Ryan to reform Harrison Industries had given her confidence and purpose. She had discovered that she was good at understanding what workers needed and finding ways to provide it. Harrison Industries had become a model for how large companies could treat their employees fairly while still making profits. Maya had convinced Ryan to give workers more control over their jobs and better safety protections. The company's profits had actually increased because happy workers were more productive. Maya, Ryan said as they walked home from the celebration, "Do you ever miss your old life?" Maya thought about it. Sometimes I miss the simplicity of just serving coffee and worrying about tips. But I don't miss being powerless. They had moved into a larger apartment together. It was not as fancy as Ryan's old place, but it felt more like a real home. Maya had insisted on keeping her job at the diner 2 days a week because she enjoyed the work and wanted to stay connected to ordinary people. Their marriage had started as a business arrangement, but it had become something real. Maya and Ryan had fallen in love slowly, built on respect and shared values rather than just attraction. They were partners in every sense of the word. "I have something to tell you," Ryan said as they entered their apartment. Maya looked at him with concern. "What is it?" "Ambassador Veltar offered me a position as human representative to the Zephyrian Council," Ryan explained. "It would mean traveling to their home worlds and helping establish trade relationships between our species." Maya felt excited and worried at the same time. "That sounds like an amazing opportunity." "It is," Ryan agreed. "But I told him I could only accept if you came with me as my equal partner, not just as my wife." Maya stared at him. "You want me to help represent humanity to alien civilizations?" "Maya, you understand people better than anyone I know," Ryan said. "You see things that I miss because of my privileged background. The Zephyrians were impressed by your ability to bring different groups together. They specifically requested that you be part of any diplomatic team." Maya felt overwhelmed. 2 years ago, she had been a powerless waitress. Now she was being asked to help shape humanity's relationship with alien species. "Are you sure I'm qualified for something so important?" Maya asked. "You saved our entire species by risking your life for an alien judge," Ryan reminded her. "I think that qualifies you for anything." Maya walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there were alien worlds full of people she had never imagined. The thought was scary but also incredibly exciting. "What would we be doing exactly?" Maya asked. "Learning about Zephyrian culture and teaching them about human culture," Ryan explained. "Helping set up trade agreements that are fair to both species. Making sure that as humanity expands into the galaxy, we don't repeat the mistakes we made on Earth and in our own colonies." Maya realized this was exactly the kind of work she wanted to do. She had learned that she was good at helping different groups understand each other and find common ground. "When would we leave?" Maya asked. "Next month, if you agree," Ryan said. "But Maya, I want you to know that whatever you decide is fine with me. You don't owe me anything. You've already given me more than I ever expected." Maya looked at her husband. He had kept every promise he had made to her. He had protected her from Derek and Vincent. He had treated her as an equal partner despite their different backgrounds. Most importantly, he had helped her discover that she was capable of much more than she had ever imagined. "Yes," Maya said. "I want to go with you." Ryan smiled and hugged her. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," Maya replied. "But I have one condition." "What's that?" "When we come back to visit Earth, I want to work a shift at the Starlight Diner," Maya said. "I never want to forget where I came from." "Deal," Ryan laughed. A year later, Maya stood on the observation deck of a Zephyrian starship, looking down at a planet covered in purple oceans and silver cities. She was wearing the uniform of a human Zephyrian cultural exchange officer. Her job was to help both species understand each other better. It had not always been easy. There were still people who thought a former waitress had no business in galactic diplomacy. But Maya had proven them wrong by successfully negotiating 3 major trade agreements and preventing 2 potential conflicts between human and Zephyrian colonies. Ryan found her on the observation deck. "The council meeting went well," he reported. "They approved funding for the new educational exchange program." Maya smiled. The program would allow young humans and Zephyrians to study together, learning about each other's cultures from an early age. "You know what the best part is?" Maya said. "What? If we do this right, no young person from either species will ever have to face the kind of hopeless situation I was in 2 years ago. They'll grow up knowing that cooperation is possible, that different doesn't mean enemy, and that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity." Ryan put his arm around Maya as they watched the alien world turn slowly below them. From a desperate kiss in a diner to representing humanity among the stars. That's quite a journey. Maya laughed. And it all started because I was brave enough to kiss a stranger. No, Ryan said gently. It started because you were brave enough to believe you deserved better than what other people planned for you. Maya looked out at the infinite stars and felt grateful for the courage that had changed her life and, in a small way, changed the future of human civilization. She was no longer the scared waitress who had kissed a stranger to escape her problems. She was Maya Collins Harrison, explorer of new worlds and builder of bridges between different peoples. And this was only the beginning.